Whether or not you want to know about it, this is all we need to know about DC weather. Hi, welcome back to another Coffee with Coleman, where we love to discuss Washington, D.C., business, real estate, all that good stuff. My name is John Coleman, and I'm a real estate agent here in Washington, D.C. with the Jason Martin Group. Quick favor, if you like perfect weather, then go ahead and make that button light up like the sun. Bing! If you like learning about DC and real estate and you want to know more about it, then click subscribe because then you will get alerted when I release new videos. All right, so 2 housekeeping matters as we get going with this video. I've compiled a bunch of these fun graphics that you can download. I have a link below. If you don't get them, email me. I will make sure that you have them all. They're pretty interesting stuff. Second, weather here is interpreted by many people in many different ways. I have friends from Florida and Texas that move here, and their opinions of the weather are drastically different than mine, which is based out of Michigan. Much colder. Okay, so I found these graphics on weatherspark.com, and I think they're going to be super helpful in drawing up what we are seeing in regards to living in this climate. It'll be a logical start to be in January as we start talking about this. However, I don't like to be all that logical all the time, and the reality is January and December feel relatively the same. So I'm gonna bundle those together and actually start with December. This is our coldest stretch of the year with the highest likelihood of snow. We average about 44 degrees on high and about 30 on low, although some days you can't convince me we're above 2. So we're hanging out right around above that freezing level. However, it is not that uncommon to randomly hit 60 or 70 degree days at times, just to remind you that Mother Nature is a little unpredictable. In terms of snow, we don't get that much on a yearly basis, generally about 14 inches in total, and that's spread across the whole winter. That's about half the national average. Oftentimes the temps are a little too high to really have that snow stick, so it doesn't even hang out with us all that long. What's that word when something's like special? It's like a special happening? Novelty. Novelty. Yes, snow is kind of like a novelty here. And DC itself ends up like this little like donut at the end of the day, where it feels like a lot of the surrounding areas end up getting more snow than us, and in DC proper, it doesn't seem to actually be there. So snow is oftentimes a little bit less eventful than people are hoping it to be. However, every once in a while, the exact opposite happens. We get pummeled with snow and we don't know what to do with it. And that's what keeps us on our toes. It's like every once a year or once every other year, we do get like a substantial snowfall. Everyone goes out, they cross-country ski on these DC streets, they sled on the hill at the Capitol building. Like they really take advantage of once the snow comes in. So now we're exiting the coldest and we're entering what I consider to be like this perfect zone, which starts around St. Patrick's Day. The sun is out, the days are starting to get longer, and the summer heat isn't quite here yet. This is going to last until about mid-May before that heat and humidity really start to turn up. My only advice is during this time, enjoy it. My goodness, it goes by so fast, and before you know it, you're going to be sweating through every piece of clothing you have. Then from May until about early September, this is your heat zone. This is where it gets real. This is where maybe you people from the South don't think it's that big of a deal, but us Northerners, you think that we're being tortured on a daily basis. The heat is one thing, but like when you look at the average highs, they're somewhere in the 80s. And like, if you're looking at that, you're like, what's the big deal? 80 degrees doesn't seem that bad. And that's a totally reasonable thing to say. I guess data is data, but all I can tell you is be ready to sweat. To me, it feels like the average temperature should be much hotter than that. And other factors comes into play, like this muggy factor, which this is unbearably comical to look at because they're saying that 60% of the time during the peak summer, our 3 main options are muggy, oppressive, and miserable. That is how we describe our weather here in the summer. And the hardest thing for you true professional folks that have to wear your suits and all that stuff, well, getting to work in this heat typically means you're sweating your way all the way into the office. And the other piece of advice I have for you is you need air conditioning. Window units are fine at a minimum, but having a place with air conditioning is going to be crucial during the summer months if you plan to sleep at all. All right, less hot. Now you've made it to mid-September. In the north, this is when the leaves are turning colors, but in DC, that really doesn't happen until the end of October. We will have a lovely set of moderate weather through the month of September and to Halloween, which is when the fall starts to kick in. And November is fine, but that's when you're gonna start breaking out those winter jackets and getting ready to jump back to the beginning of this video because it's about to get cold. So, a couple of other things I like to point out. Where do you get your information? Well, your phone and everything can generally tell you on a day-to-day basis what temperature it is. But if you want who I follow to give me the best facts, tidbits, and up-to-date information, I usually follow the Capital Weather Gang. They're pretty solid. And I also love the WTOP Gang. They give good up-to-date as well. So I'll link them below. You can follow them for all of your DC weather needs and learning what's going on. If you're relocating to DC, I recommend you go down to the comment section of this video because I do have a link to a Moving to DC guide where I cover all the things you need to go with links to the appropriate videos that happen there. So make use of that, have fun, and if you have any questions, reach out to me. I would love to be a resource. Besides that, I hope you come. I recommend those 2 areas of that perfect time, but if you're gonna be here, DC's an awesome city and we're excited to see you. Sweater freezing, we'll have all the seasons and we'll have some fun doing it. Otherwise, thanks for stopping by another Coffee with Coleman. Peace.